Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars Issue 25, which was written by Charles Soule and was released on July 20th, 2022, which is a special issue, mainly because it's the 100th issue of the mainline Star Wars series since Marvel took back the Star Wars comics rights in 2015. Also, I guess it was Charles Soule's 100th Star Wars comic he wrote, so it includes 4 short stories based on other Star Wars comics Soule has written in the past, which those stories are Obi-Wan and Anakin, The Lesson, which has art by Raymond Rosanis, Darth Vader, The Lesson, which has art by Giuseppe Camuncolo, and then Kylo Ren, See You Around Kid, which has art by Will Sliney, and Poe Dameron, and Eulogy for Snap, which has art by Phil Noto. And like I said, each story is based on some of Soule's previous Star Wars comics. I wouldn't say they're super connected to those series, like, in a way continuing those series, but just more stories with those characters. Obviously, I'd say the Poe story is probably the most connected, mainly just because it uses a lot of characters we pretty much only see in the Poe series, where the other stories are about characters from the movies. So, they're pretty much just more stories of those characters with my Soule. So, yeah, but let's dive into it. Which, the first story was Obi-Wan and Anakin, A Lesson, which I really enjoyed. We see Obi-Wan and Anakin kind of dueling at the Jedi Temple by the big tree at the temple, which Anakin asks Obi-Wan why, they use lightsabers, and why don't they use the kyber crystals to power something else, like a blaster or something that's more powerful or easier to use, which Obi-Wan tells Anakin that at one point he thought the same thing, but Qui-Gon told him the reason why they don't, use blasters, but instead use the lightsaber because, they wish to be seen in a certain way, not as someone who's greatly powerful, but as someone who cares and who's more thoughtful. And the lightsaber is a weapon which takes great training to use, so, more care and thoughtfulness. So in a way, it shows people that even though the Jedi are powerful beings, they choose not to be powerful. And Obi-Wan also talks about how in combat they, very precisely choose to use the lightsaber. So, even though they might not want to use it, they do have to decide when to do, and they obviously put a lot of thought into that. But he finishes by saying the lightsaber and how they use it shows to people that they are protectors and not destroyers. Which, obviously Anakin does ask why the Sith use them, which Obi-Wan doesn't really have a, that good of an answer, I guess, because he says he doesn't really know why the Sith do, but he says that he thinks the Sith think they can do anything a Jedi does better, so they use the lightsaber, thinking they are better at it than the Jedi, which obviously Obi-Wan says that they are wrong, which I then go back to dueling, which, like I said, I quite like this one, kind of giving a view on why the lightsaber is the weapon the Jedi use. But, it's probably my favorite story from this issue. I quite liked it. But next was Darth Vader, The Lesson, which kind of dives a little more into the Sith point of view of the last story. Not as much as I would have liked, but that's fine. I still quite enjoyed this story. It starts with Palpatine and Vader on Coruscant, kind of in the Sith-looking place areas. At least that's how I refer to them, because that's what it looks like. But we see Palpatine ask Vader to duel him, which Palpatine gives Vader one of his lightsabers, so I'm assuming this story takes place, during the first issue of Soule's Vader series, like right at the start, right after Vader gets into the suit. At least that's what I'm assuming when this story takes place. But in this duel, Palpatine, whips Vader's ass and tells him he fights like a Jedi, which he elaborates by saying that he fights as if the lightsaber is his only weapon, and that the Sith's true weapon is not the lightsaber, but the dark side of the Force, and that the saber is only a symbol for others, I guess, going against the dark side, to kind of be scared by it, I guess. I don't know. Which the story ends with the defeated Vader saying that he understands my master. Which I like this one, kind of showing the Sith point of view of the lightsaber and whatnot. But the story was a little more action-focused than diving into more of what Palpatine is saying about, like I said, the Sith point of view of the lightsaber. I enjoyed it a little bit there, but I just wish there was maybe a little bit more. But the action was still cool. I quite liked it, so it's fine. I still really enjoyed this story. But then there's Kylo Ren, See You Around Kid, which was another solid story about Kylo going across the galaxy after the events of The Last Jedi, trying to kind of get Luke's ghost to appear. First he goes to Crate, then El Throna, at the Jedi Outpost we saw in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic series, where Luke and Ben ran into the Knights of Ren, but he then finally heads to Osissus, the location of Luke's Jedi Temple, where we see Kylo kind of calling out for Luke, who doesn't appear. So he heads back to his shuttle, where he tells Hux to bombard the remains of the temple, which Hux asks him if he's going to watch, which Kylo just says, "Why would I? There's nothing here." Which, we kind of see him sad looking after that. But it was a solid story. I liked seeing more moments of Kylo before the Rise of Skywalker and after The Last Jedi. I also liked how it kind of even connects to the Book of Boba Fett, as we see Osissus looking more like it does in that series, to kind of, connect it back to The Last Jedi also, as we can't really see too much of the planet in The Last Jedi, or even The Force Awakens, because we've seen that movie also. But, I thought it was a solid story. Not my favorite of the bunch, but a solid one. But finally, there was Poe Dameron and Eulogy for Snap, which is set after The Rise of Skywalker, or shortly after The Rise of Skywalker on Ajan Kloss, where we see Poe and the surviving members of Black Squadron giving an eulogy for Snap, which was nice. Definitely see the characters from the Poe series reacting to the death of Snap, and giving more with Poe also there was nice. Other than just in the movie, you kind of just, see him react right when Snap dies a little bit, which obviously, makes sense, as their connection isn't shown in the movies as much. It's more from the comic series, so it makes sense to show it more here in this little short story, which was nice. But they're standing by a fire and talking about Snap and whatnot, which we see them throwing the programming chip for the droid Mr. Bones, which Snap programmed decades beforehand. So it was a nice little story. Give him more there. Obviously, when the Poe series ended, the Rise of Skywalker wasn't out yet, so the story was only able to be told after that. So it's nice to get something. But all in all, I enjoyed the issue. I wouldn't say it's a must read, but if you've enjoyed Soule's previous Star Wars comics, you'll definitely enjoy this one. And obviously each story is pretty short. They're all like about 5 pages, 4 to 5 pages long. So none of them are really that long. Obviously most of the time the one issue, like Anthology comics, kind of all have the same problem where the stories are just a little short. Which this one, definitely the stories are a little short, but I still probably enjoyed them more than I do most of the Anthology comics. But I do think it helps that all the stories were written by the same writer, where most of the one issue Anthology issues, like, it's written by multiple different writers. So, kind of allows, like, the Obi-Wan and Anakin story and the Darth Vader story kind of share some similar themes about the lightsaber and whatnot, so that kind of helped there. And I felt like each story kind of got their point across quickly enough. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of a one issue Anthology comics, I still enjoyed this one. Obviously helps that I do quite like all of Charles Soule's other Star Wars comics, so I just like the way he writes Star Wars, so that definitely helped. But, I wouldn't say this was my all-time favorite Star Wars comic. It was a solid, fun one to have. But, my grade, I'm going to give it a B. So, yeah. But, that's going to be it for this one. One thing for me was special. This is my 200th comic review, or canon comic review. So, obviously this was a special issue for actual real reasons. But it's one for me, as I noticed it's getting to 200 reviews, so I made sure to save this one for my 200th. So yeah, obviously that doesn't matter. But my next comic review will be, I forget, I think it's a Darth Vader one, issue 25 of the 2020 Darth Vader one. I forget. I think it's that. So, you can check out my review of that. Then, but in the meantime, you check out my other comp reviews and everything else to do. But I've been Star Soule. I'll catch you guys in the next one.